Hey, let's drop a comment right now and tell me where you're tuning in from and what time it is over there, yeah? Because after this one, you're not gonna sleep easy. 2026 is the year of strength and clarity. And this story? Oh, honey, it's about both. It's about finally cashing in on the emotional debt your family owes you. Let's buckle up. It wasn't just humid at my parents' lake house that night. It was thick, like the air was holding secrets. You ever taste betrayal in the air? That's exactly what it felt like. It was the 40th anniversary party for Vanguard Logistics, my family's little empire of ships, trucks, and ego. Dad had thrown 50 grand at the event to show how thriving the business was. White tents, sweating violinists, and seafood towers with shrimp that looked like they belonged on a red carpet. Fake smiles as far as the eye could see. I stood at the edge of it all geometry class, always on the edge, right? Holding a lukewarm glass of water and watching everyone perform success like it was theater. And then this is the bit that still burns. A small voice cut through the air. My 12-year-old nephew Mason stepped between me and the food table like a pint-sized bouncer. He looked up with eyes trained by arrogance and said, "Dad says charity cases eat last." Everyone heard it. My brother smirked. My dad looked away. My mom adjusted the flower arrangements like they'd suddenly grown fascinating. That's when everything in me went still, cold. I wasn't angry. I wasn't embarrassed. I was done. I'd been making emotional deposits into this family for 31 years, and the account was empty. Ever reached that point where you realize peace costs more than blood? I set my plate down, walked out, and didn't look back. My lake house exit wasn't drama, it was clarity. They always saw me as the quiet one, the dependable one, the good girl who doesn't cause trouble. Yeah, right. I wasn't fragile, I was transparent. A glass child, as psychologists call us. While my brother was bragging about deals he didn't close, I was managing a $200 million portfolio as a senior wealth strategist. But they didn't know that. To them, I was just Rachel the helper. The helper owned their company, they just hadn't read the fine print. 5 years earlier, I had secretly saved their bankrupt business under a shell firm I created, Ironhold Capital. Poured in over $5 million of my own money. They never bothered to ask who their mysterious investor was. Too busy popping champagne over someone else's wallet. Fast forward to 2026. My phone buzzes. Text from Dad. The business needs another investment. And I just typed back 2 words. Never again. That night, I sent one email that changed everything. Ironhold Capital was exercising its right to cash out $13 million due in 30 days. Like flipping a corporate guillotine. Next morning, chaos detonated. Missed calls, panic emails, whispers flying through the boardroom. My dad tried to call it an administrative hiccup. "Rachel," he said, voice all charm and desperation, "we need a small bridge loan." You ever feel the exact moment your respect for someone dies? That was it. He wanted me to fund the fight against myself. The investor was me, hiding in plain sight. I said, "Sorry, Dad, I can't." He said, "Family helps family." I said, "You already taught me family is a one-way street." Tolls closed, and I hung up. Within hours, my sister-in-law was posting on socials about fake people who forget their roots. Oh, bless. Nothing screams I'm guilty like a subtweet in a meltdown font. 30 days later, they failed to raise the money. The company had to sell. The meeting was set for 10 a.m., Ironhold headquarters, boardroom number 3. They thought they were meeting the faceless investor. They thought they were walking in to negotiate. They had no idea it was me. Cue cinematic walk-in, heels clicking loud enough to announce a burial. They froze. "Rachel?" my brother said, confused. "Yup," I said, sliding into the chairman's chair. Funny thing about ghosts, you can't haunt what you own. I spelled it out. The anonymous $5 million, the silent board seat, the contracts they'd signed without reading. Every signature was their consent to their own undoing. Dad tried to play sentimental. "We can fix this, sweetheart. This isn't personal, Dad," I said. "It's just business. You taught me that." And then? The audit. Expense reports. A luxury SUV for my sister-in-law. Client meetings in Cubby O that never happened. Country club fees disguised as consulting. Embezzlement. One spreadsheet cell at a time. I laid it all down like a deck of receipts in corporate karma. Then I reached for the company credit cards. Snip, snip, snip. Each cut was 30 years of being underestimated. My brother stammered, "You're leaving us with nothing." I shrugged. "You wanted wealth. You just didn't pay the bill." They broke right there. Titles evaporated, cars gone, illusions burned out. And standing in front of their ruin, I didn't feel revenge. I felt peace, like standing on clean ground after the storm. Dad whispered, "I'm your father." "I know," I said. "And that's why I'm firing you." 3 days later, the sale wrapped. My account blinked with $12.9 million. No fireworks, just silence and certainty. I bought a small mountain house with glass walls and peace in the air. No lake house humidity, no audience to perform for. A month later, a letter arrived from Dad. He wrote, "I finally see your worth." I didn't frame it, didn't post it, just folded it and tucked it away with old documents, the past archived. That night, I grilled salmon and ate dinner alone on my porch. No one to wait for, no one to block me. The air was crisp, the food simple, the silence luxurious. The so-called charity case was eating first, finally. If you've ever been the one holding your family together while they chipped away at your sanity, maybe it's time to close your own account, eh? Drop "The Bank of Me is closed" in the comments if you felt that in your bones. And remember, peace isn't free, darling, but it's worth every cent. If you felt that click in your chest, yeah, that quiet, finally, you belong here. Because every week, we tell stories about people who turn disrespect into dividends and silence into strength. So before you scroll, tap subscribe right here on Revenge Diary, where clarity always gets the last word. And share this video with that one friend who's holding a family together by sheer willpower. Remind her, the bank of me is closed, and that's not cruelty. It's peace.